we begin in the city's East End, where a man was fatally shot by Toronto police. This happened outside a busy shopping plaza at Danforth and Victoria Park around noon. This is a live look at the scene from our Global News chopper. You can see a cluster of police vehicles at the rear of the shopping complex. Our Shalima Maharaj is live at the scene and joins us now. Shalima.
Good evening, Alan. We're here just at the back area. There's still a number of police vehicles left over. The SIU is on scene as well, continuing their part of the investigation. Now, we've been told by police that around 12:09, that is when there was a man carrying a knife at the back of this plaza. They say that an officer discharged their firearm. That man was then rushed to hospital and unfortunately succumbed to his injuries. Now, just a few moments ago, within the last half hour, in fact, we spoke to the man who rendered assistance to this man when he was on scene. Now, he says that he alerted police to the man's presence behind the plaza because he saw him experiencing what he described as a mental health crisis. And so he came in. Police were here, and he describes the interaction, the moments leading up to that firearm being discharged.
When the officer approached, the man approached the officer quite quickly. The officer gave several directions to drop the weapon that was in his hand. The gentleman did not drop the weapon. The officer tried to back away as quickly as he could. And if I remember correctly, he tried to do a little turnaround to see where else he could run. At that point, the man had really sped up his walking pace, which is when the officer pulled his firearm and gave him some further warnings to drop the weapon. But the man continued to walk at a very quick speed towards the officer, and the officer shot him twice.
That's an incredible recounting of what was seen there. Obviously, police can't say anything because this is now under the purview of the SIU. Give me a sense of what is in that area where you are vis-a-vis where all the shoppers would be.
Yeah, so basically we are at the very back of the complex. There's a set of train tracks, and that separates this area from another grocery store and from some homes. And towards the other side, it is a very busy shopping complex. We have electronic stores, we have a grocery store, we have an office supply store. So there are a lot of people coming and going. So that is what we would have seen during that time. There were some people that we talked to within the complex, including a convenience store owner who did not wish to go on camera, but told us about the two shots that he had heard. There were a number of people, in fact, who came up to us to let us know they did hear the gunshots. People were coming back here to see exactly what was happening. A lot of curiosity about what was unfolding, but until very recently, we didn't have a lot of those details. But the gentleman that we spoke to, who incidentally is himself a paramedic, was able to come to the scene here, render first aid, and unfortunately, the gentleman in question did not survive his injuries. And so the SIU, like you said, they have invoked their mandate, so they are going to be investigating. Toronto police are not commenting any further. Alan?
They can't comment because of provincial legislation. Thank you, Shalima.